Good morning, America, and welcome to My Mornings with Vanessa. I'm Vanessa Broussard, and this is our very first show. You're in the right place. Every morning, we'll bring you the headlines you need to know to start your day. Good to have you here with us on LINDELL TV. Let's get started. Continuing coverage on this Monday of the intense situation unfolding in Minneapolis, where protests have surged in response to a fatal ICE shooting last week. New video that you're looking at right now, just released, shows 37-year-old Renee Good taunting ICE officials over 3 minutes before she was confronted by agents. Here's that video. Again, this was just released by the Department of Homeland Security. Federal authorities say the agent acted in self-defense as Hood pushed on the gas and hit the officer with her car. He then opened fire. The mayor of Minneapolis condemning ICE, telling ICE to get out of his city and that they're just there to cause problems.
In the immediacy following the shooting, you heard people from the Trump administration saying that the victim was a domestic terrorist. You heard that the ICE agent was acting entirely in self-defense. Here's the thing. You don't need to take my word for it. You don't need to take their word for it. Watch the video. The ICE agent was not run over, as Trump stated. You had a person that was definitively trying to just get out of there. They were trying to leave the scene. That is not a person that's trying to run an ICE agent over. You have a person that is trying to protect our city, to look out for our neighbors. And by the way, there are 435,000 people throughout Minneapolis that are looking out for their neighbors right now because they understand the magnitude of this moment, and they understand that the endurance of our republic depends on us looking out for each other, and we're standing strong here in Minneapolis.
Let's bring in John FAWCETT, host of the Great America Show. Good morning to you, John. Happy Monday. You know, the video doesn't lie, John. The officer was hit. He received treatment at a local hospital before being released. Democrats, as you just heard, crying out. Protesters now storming the streets. It's 2020 2.0. Your thoughts after hearing the mayor saying she was just trying to get out of the way?
Yeah, I found that so laughable, Vanessa. And by the way, good morning to everyone who's awake at this time right now. It's so laughable to hear Jacob Fry say she wasn't run over. The agent wasn't run over. Yeah, he wasn't run over because he had to shoot his gun to ensure he wasn't run over. Vanessa, time and place. As children, as very young children, we're taught about cause and effect. The stove may be hot. You touch the stove, you may get burned. If you're not supposed to be somewhere, you're not supposed to be doing something, there are consequences. Now, we don't, cheer this woman that she was shot, but she shouldn't have been doing what she was doing. She sat there for 5 minutes. They told her to move the car nicely for 5 minutes. She sat there honking her horn, smiling, laughing. After 5 minutes, these people had to keep on moving, keep their brigade going to round up more Somalians and arrest some more illegal aliens. This woman blocked the road. They finally had enough. They said, get out of the car now. Now it's time for you to get out of the car. Now, all of a sudden, her girlfriend wants to scream, babe, run, run, run. As this guy's sitting in front of the car, who just 6 months ago was run over, dragged 100 yards, like the length of a football field, 30 stitches in his arms, absolutely brutally hurt. What is this man supposed to do at this point? At what point were we supposed to watch him get run over by the car and then say, oh, well, damn, he should have shot his gun? It's damned if you do, damned if you don't. This should send a message to all these people who want to interfere with our law enforcement, who want to interfere with our federal officers. You mess around and you find out it doesn't get much simpler than that.
Yeah, and you think they would learn, and you think they would learn to, just obey their orders, get out of the car when a federal officer or a local police officer, any officer tells you need to get out of the car, you're obstructing the roadway. You don't hit the gas and charge toward an officer, because that's the consequences that you're going to face. But, you talked about, you think that this would be a lesson for people to not interfere with law enforcement orders, but it's not. As we've seen over the weekend, even into today, John, the protests, the thousands of people protesting in the streets in Minneapolis, they're storming hotels. The people who are staying in hotels are fearing for their lives as they go in and start throwing furniture around and just causing a bunch of ruckus. But then again, this is what we get. When Charlie Kirk was shot, the nation, the world, we all prayed. And then this woman was shot in self-defense by an ICE officer, and then they protest and destroy their city. We are not the same, John. That's two different sides.
Yeah, I mean, this is what they're used to. This is what they do. But at the same time, Vanessa, we tolerate it. Why are we tolerating this? Why is President Trump tolerating this? Forget about the National Guard. Send in the Marines. I mean, get every single fire hose hooked up in that place and flood out and clean these streets. We saw what they did to Nick Sorter yesterday, who's a citizen journalist who's been on the streets for almost every single riot, windows broken, trapped in. At what point are you supposed to run these people over to get out of your way for your own safety? You run them over, and then you're the bad guy. It's time and time again that we continue to tolerate this and do nothing, absolutely nothing about it. The National Guard, yeah, they're there. What are they doing? I mean, they're there at the behest of Governor Tim Walz. What are they doing? That's my question to them. As these people continue to cause civil unrest, Jacob Fry hates them. Tim Walz hates them. Make no mistake, they hate our law enforcement. They hate our federal agents. So these guys are going to be there, and they're essentially, no pun intended, handcuffed.
Right. And, you have people like Governor Walz making statements on social media, one saying Trump wants a show, don't give it to him. Trump doesn't want a show. These Democrats want a show. They're not obeying by or with federal officers. We're seeing protests now, not just in Minneapolis. We're seeing them in California. We're seeing them in Texas. In Texas, zero tolerance. Governor Greg Abbott, he went back, sending his guards in, John, over the weekend and saying, nope, don't mess with Texas. Not going to happen here. And so in Austin, they put an end to that very quickly. You can see the officers right there. Yeah. They're not putting up with it.
I'm waiting for them to get to New York and hit Fifth Avenue. I think I'm actually going to go out and test my luck, Vanessa, and go get myself, or a family member, a new Louis Vuitton bag once they open the windows of the Louis Vuitton store on Fifth Avenue. They let them get away with this stuff. These people have done this for now the last 6+ years. We watched them do it. We watched them get away with it. There's absolutely no repercussions. And it's more than just these people coming out and breaking things. They're doing it for fun. And a lot of them, as we saw, one of them tell Laura Ingraham on a live Fox News interview, they're out there being paid. We need to start targeting the organizations who are funding this. The organizations, I don't know if it's Soros this time, but it's a name that you often hear funding these kind of things. We need to start getting to the bottom of these people and crippling them at the knees to ensure that they can't continue to do this. Also, don't these people have jobs? These people who are out on the streets? I'm so confused about how these people have so much free time. In my next life, I want to come back as one of them.
No, you don't. They're not good. They do have jobs. They're getting paid. Like you mentioned with Laura Ingraham on the streets on Fox News, they told her on camera, I have a job. This is my job. Let's see what President Trump has to say about that from Air Force One last night.
It was highly disrespectful of law enforcement. The woman and her friend were highly disrespectful of law enforcement. You saw that. They were harassing them, were following for days and for hours. And I think, frankly, they're professional agitators.
But just disrespect.
And I'd like to find out, and we are going to find out who's paying for it.
But just disrespect.
With their brand new signs and all the different things. But these are professional agitators, and law enforcement should not be in a position where they have to put up with this stuff. What that woman and what her friend and what their other friends were doing to law enforcement, not just ICE, law enforcement is outrageous.
Outrageous, paid agitators. We know that that's true because where are they getting these well-made signs just hours after an incident happens? Yeah. Somebody's paying for them, John.
It's not even that, too, Vanessa. He brings up a good point. It's the politicians, too, who the Democrats who have launched these apps, these websites, these areas to call out these people and track where they're going, to let everybody know where they're going, to let them know where they can harass them. How much are they supposed to put up with? At the end of the day, Vanessa, these people are human beings. They are paid to do a job. They're on a payroll for the federal government to do a job. If they don't do that job, they're getting paid for absolutely nothing. Um, when does it turn to the point where these people have to start protecting themselves because of what we saw happen to those two National Guardsmen just a day before Thanksgiving? One of them killed, one of them still in and out of a coma now 2 months later. At what point does it come down to these guys got to start defending literally their own backs, watching their own six?
Absolutely. Well, DHS Secretary Kristi Noem, she said just over the weekend, John, responding to the Democrats who were saying that ICE was in the wrong. She says, you don't get to change the facts because you don't like them. What happened in Minneapolis, she says, was an act of domestic terrorism. So we're going to continue to follow that as the investigation unfolds there in Minneapolis. But while you're here, I wanted to talk about Fed Chair Jerome Powell now under investigation. Your thoughts on that?
Vanessa, he messed around for far too long, and he's another one who's going to soon find out. We watched what Jerome Powell had done for a year leading up to the election. President Trump's a big fan of cutting lower rates to borrow money at a lower interest rate. Some people agree with it, some people don't agree with it. But what Fed Chair Jerome Powell did for a year leading up to the election of Kamala Harris, well, first it was Joe Biden versus Trump, but Kamala Harris ultimately versus Donald Trump, is he cut the Fed key interest rate multiple times, and you can look at the points at where he cut it, and each and every single one of them coincided with some sort of catastrophic, now it happened each and every day for Kamala Harris, but some sort of catastrophic event to try to drive the markets up, creating a false sense of hope in the markets. We all saw what happened. President Trump saw what happened. So Jerome Powell was, he was on the sticks when it started with that. Then Jerome Powell decided he was going to dump billions of dollars into a new Fed center for himself. President Trump went, checked the books, and he's the wrong person to mess with, Donald Trump, because this is the real estate king, the real estate guru, who knows what things are supposed to cost and refuses. I've been told stories from the inside, Vanessa. He refuses to overpay for things just out of the sheer fact of getting ripped off. So Donald Trump now opens up the books and looks at what Jerome Powell's been doing, and he says, heck no. And he may have found a little bit of wrongdoing on Jerome Powell's part. We all know the federal government, Vanessa, is very friendly to people who spend money in the sense of kickback. So I think Jerome Powell's going to have to maybe start answering some questions as for why things were so expensive and where some money went.
Yeah, and he wasted no time defending himself. He released this video over the weekend. We want to show our viewers. Watch this.
Good evening. On Friday, the Department of Justice served the Federal Reserve with grand jury subpoenas, threatening a criminal indictment related to my testimony before the Senate Banking Committee last June. That testimony concerned in part a multi-year project to renovate historic Federal Reserve office buildings. I have deep respect for the rule of law and for accountability in our democracy. No one, certainly not the chair of the Federal Reserve, is above the law. But this unprecedented action should be seen in the broader context of the administration's threats and ongoing pressure. This new threat is not about my testimony last June or about the renovation of the Federal Reserve buildings. It is not about Congress's oversight role. The Fed, through testimony and other public disclosures, made every effort to keep Congress informed about the renovation project. Those are pretexts. The threat of criminal charges is a consequence of the Federal Reserve setting interest rates based on our best assessment of what will serve the public, rather than following the preferences of the president. This is about whether the Fed will be able to continue to set interest rates based on evidence and economic conditions, or whether instead monetary policy will be directed by political pressure or intimidation. I have served at the Federal Reserve under 4 administrations, Republicans and Democrats alike. In every case, I have carried out my duties without political fear or favor, focused solely on our mandate of price stability and maximum employment. Public service sometimes requires standing firm in the face of threats. I will continue to do the job the Senate confirmed me to do, with integrity and a commitment to serving the American people. Thank you.
Well, he seems a little serious right there, and he says he's being intimidated by the Trump administration, John.
Vanessa, this is the perfect example of what happens when you put a lawyer in as the Fed chair and not an economist. Jerome Powell, from the beginning, not an economist, a lawyer. So he's trained and paid to lie. I think he was trained at one of the best. I think he went to Georgetown or GW, one of the DC lying institutions. He's got to answer some questions. I love that each and every time one of these people comes out, Vanessa, they're somehow a victim. Meanwhile, the only person who's literally been a victim for the last 10 years is President Trump and doesn't play the victim card. These people, every single one of them, that looked like the same video that was put out by James Comey. He wants to talk about the institution of the Federal Reserve. He's got Lisa Crooks, who's literally a crook, a mortgage fraud crook, sitting on his board that he's allowed to continue to sit there. You want to talk about the integrity of your institution? Why don't you start with getting rid of this crook? And then we can maybe talk about you being under investigation for various different reasons.
Yeah, and he says that she's innocent as well, and we all know that she's being looked at for fraud. So we'll continue to watch that. Before you go, I want to show you this. President Trump posted just late last night a new job description. He is now the acting president of Venezuela. This is true Trump trolling at its finest.
You're absolutely right. This is 2016 Trump back. I think it's absolutely amazing. And it's not, by the way, the people of Venezuela are absolutely thrilled by this. The American Venezuelan people, absolutely thrilled by this news. So make no mistake about it. Don't listen to the mainstream media. These people are absolutely thrilled for what we've went through. This is back 2016, as I said, President Trump level trolling. And I think it's great news for the rest of the world. He went even as far as calling up Russia and China, maybe not calling them on the phone, but letting them know that Venezuela is open for business. And if they want to buy oil, we're more than happy to do business with them, but they have to go through us. This sets a precedent now, Vanessa, to let the rest of the world know to stop playing games. We're not here to play games. We're here to do business. And if you want to mess around, you're going to continue to find out, like each and every person who's messed around for the last year that President Trump's been in office. Ask Nicolas Maduro about it.
Absolutely. And we're not messing around. We're starting this new morning show today. I'm so glad you kicked things off with me this morning. Always a pleasure. But then we're switching gears after this show. We'll be heading into your show. So I'm excited to join you later today on your show as well, John. Let everyone know how they can follow you.
Well, tonight at 6 p.m. Eastern time, we'll have Vanessa on the show. We already have fans. I'm told. I'm kind of jealous. I don't even have fans on my own show. I think people tune in out of pity. But they're excited to see you. You can tune in 6 p.m. Eastern time, Rumble, YouTube, Twitter, my Twitter, or if you want to catch us on audio, if you're driving in the car, Apple, iHeart, Spotify, The Great America Show, The Great America Show. You just type that in and it'll come right up. We'll be live each and every night, 6 p.m. Eastern time. And tonight, Vanessa will be our guest. We're going to kick it in and we're going to have some fun and maybe get Vanessa in trouble.
I don't know. Hanging out with you have to be very, very careful. John, always a pleasure to see you. And we'll see you tonight on your show. Thanks for joining us.
Have a good morning, Vanessa.
Thank you. Going back to the situation in Minneapolis now, our Allison Steinberg is sitting down with Congressman Randy Fine for his reaction.
Hello, everyone. Allison Steinberg here with LINDELL TV. We are here with Congressman Randy Fine of Florida's 6th Congressional District. Congressman, thanks for being with us today. It's great to have you.
Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. So lots going on. No shortage of news today. Most recently, this massive shooting in Minnesota as a result, of course, of all of the fraud, insanity, corruption. I think at least 2,000 ICE agents have been deployed over there. Lots of uproar today with everything that's going on. What are your thoughts?
Well, look, Democrats believe that anyone who wants should be able to come to America. There are no rules, and then they should get all the free stuff they want. They can create as many leering centers as they can have. And Donald Trump said enough. We're going to deport all of the illegal immigrants in this country. And they don't like it. And so they believe they can act however they want, jump in the road, run ICE agents over, and we're supposed to deal with it. Well, real Americans have had enough. And we saw that yesterday. I support ICE, and I say double down, keep scooping them up, keep sending them home.
Absolutely. It's got to be done. And I don't even know how we have a country unless we act swiftly on this and get this done while President Trump is in office. Vice President J.D. Vance actually came out during a briefing today at the White House, and he announced that they are now appointing a special counsel and assistant attorney general to oversee all of these issues with fraud that will, oversee the entire nation, not just Minnesota. Do you think this is a good approach to getting a handle on the situation?
Absolutely. Look, all of these programs are riddled with fraud, and it is not an accident. It is by design. The Democrats flush the system with money, and then they skim a chunk off the top to get themselves reelected. We've seen that in Minnesota. We've seen it in other places. These programs, frankly, I think we need to have a discussion about whether the federal government should be continuing to fund state-implemented welfare programs. I think there's an even bigger discussion than that. But absolutely, putting all of these people in jail, rounding them up, sending them home, I'm all in, and I appreciate the president making it a priority. If we don't solve this problem, we are not going to have a country. And the fact of the matter is that's what the other side wants. What you saw in Minnesota, it is a foreign invasion. They are not rounding up Americans. They are rounding up foreigners. And you have people fighting to allow foreigners who do not have the right to be here to remain here. That is an invasion. And people who get on the side of the invaders, they need to be stopped.
It's astounding. And let's talk more about the people that get on the side of the invaders, like the woman that, yes, tragically lost her life, but that's because she was inhibiting law enforcement from doing their job. She was an agitator in the middle of the street. Is this a result of liberal media brainwashing a percentage of the population into this radical ideology? I mean, how did we get to this place?
Yeah, and by the way, I push back on tragedy. When someone tries to run over an ICE agent and they get shot, that is not a tragedy. That is someone finding out after they FA'd. That's what it is. So I think we need to tell the left, you cannot behave this way. And frankly, it's not a surprise this is happening in Minnesota, the same place where we started the mostly peaceful protests in 2020, where that meant burn down cities and burn down businesses. They're going to try to do the same now. The difference is we're not putting up with it this time. Tim Walz talks about a civil war. He better be careful what he wishes for.
Do you think there are other states that are complicit in the similar type fraud that we're seeing? I mean, I know it's not just Minnesota, right? I mean, what are your thoughts on other states and how do we go about this?
We're going to find this in every blue state, particularly blue states that have unified government, where you've got a unified legislature and a governor who are all Democrat. We're going to see it everywhere. And it's by design. Their goal is to destroy the country. We borrowed $2.6 trillion last year. How much of that is to be given to foreigners or to be given even to Americans who don't deserve it? This is going to bankrupt the country and destroy the country, and that is their goal, and we have to stop it.
Like we need a factory reset. Like, how do we even continue on knowing that there's so much corruption and illegal immigration that's taking place in this nation? In California, there's a real ID, right? It's almost like we should just scrap everything and like start over from scratch. Is that, would that even be realistic?
There are ways to do that. I'll give you some examples. Number one is we need to ban all foreigners from getting any form of welfare. That will stop. You can't defraud a system you're not eligible for. We need to deport every illegal immigrant. That will clean out the system. We need to denaturalize and deport those who have come here and lied in order to become citizens. And we need to take a hard look at all of these welfare programs that are being administered by the states. We need to cut off the spigot because it is going to bankrupt us and destroy our country.
Speaking of denaturalizing and deporting, there is a member of Congress who's under quite a bit of heat, Ilhan Omar. Likely very complicit in a lot of the fraud we're seeing in Minnesota. There's been many efforts in Congress to take action, but nothing ever seems to get done. Do you have any insight or opinion on why that is?
Well, we tried to censure her. It failed. And so there aren't the votes at the chamber level to do anything about it. I think what we need to do is we need to do the investigation, and the executive branch can do something about it. If she lied, if she engaged in immigration fraud, she can be denaturalized and deported. She also may go to prison. It is difficult for me to believe she doesn't know exactly what was going on with her fellow Somalis in Minnesota. The level of fraud is so great. I'll give you the example it reminds me of. Back in World War II, when the Holocaust happened, there were Germans who'd be like, I had no idea. And it was all lies. They knew, they just didn't get involved. I believe everyone knew exactly what was going on. And they chose to either turn a blind eye or more likely benefit from it. I think we'll catch her. I think she'll go down for it.
I certainly hope so. I know there was a hearing yesterday, House Oversight hearing on the Minnesota fraud. She was actually just right across the hallway at a Black Caucus luncheon when she should have been in that room, I think, trying to defend her position if she was truly innocent, don't you think?
Well, it's not defendable. How do you defend the Leering Center? I mean, the whole thing is so bad. How we let these people into the country. I mean, it's a scandal of epic proportions. And the good news is Republicans are going to get to the bottom of it.
I sure hope so. Congressman Fine, thank you so much. Appreciate it.
Well, the Department of Homeland Security, as Allison just mentioned, is deploying hundreds more federal agents to Minneapolis, part of the largest enforcement operations in the agency's history. And because of the chaos in the streets from deranged protesters, children are now being affected. Minneapolis public schools have turned to online learning for the remainder of the month. Now to an exclusive story on a woman named Roseanne Boyland. The 34-year-old Georgia woman traveled to Washington, D.C. on January 6th, 5 years ago. And that's where she met her fate. Our Kara Castronova has more.
This week marks 5 years since January 6th, 2021. So why have the J6 police involved in the death of Roseanne Boyland never been investigated? And why do most Americans still not know her name? Ashley Babbitt was not the only woman who died that day at the hands of police. Another woman was killed inside the U.S. Capitol. Her name was Roseanne Boyland. The Biden administration and the mainstream media told the public she died of a drug overdose. But eyewitnesses, use of force experts, and her family dispute that. And the video evidence disproves that entirely. Roseanne Boyland died after an encounter with violent J6 police in the lower West Tunnel entrance. Video shows she was struck flush in the forehead with a pepper ball at close range, gassed by J6 police, and trampled after police started shoving a crowd that had nowhere to go. Boyland was then brutally beaten with a stick by J6 police officer Lila Morris as she lay unconscious on the ground before she was pronounced dead. Does that sound like a drug overdose to you? And to add insult to injury, any Trump supporter that tried to help Boyland was attacked by police, later arrested and locked up as political prisoners of the Biden administration. There has never been an independent investigation. Her death was virtually ignored by the J6 Select Committee, and the official record has never been corrected. 5 years later, the truth is still buried. Roseanne Boyland's death was allowed to go uninvestigated for two reasons. She was a Trump supporter, and she believed that the 2020 election was stolen. After January 6th, accountability was selective, and so was compassion. And if Biden's former government, Democrats, and the former J6 Select Committee can lie about the death of an innocent woman who died on camera on U.S. Capitol steps, then every American should be asking these questions. What else have they lied about? And what were those lies intended to cover up? Reporting from the White House for LINDELL TV, I'm Kara Castronova.
As Kara just mentioned, Boyland was one of 5 people who died that day. Her family still wanting answers, as they should, on what exactly happened when she was caught in that chaos. Also new this morning, the governor of Colorado has publicly said he is now considering clemency for Tina Peters. He says now that her sentence is harsh. Tina Peters, as you know, is the former Mesa County clerk who was convicted in 2024, tied to what the courts found as illegally allowing access to election equipment and data. She just had questions about the 2020 election. Tina's attorney, Peter Tickton, released this statement to LINDELL TV this morning saying this: "We had applied for a pardon. Governor Polis is correct. The sentence was harsh. We are thankful that he is looking at this more fairly." President Trump, as you know, has been a staunch advocate for Tina, issuing her pardon last year. That was a federal pardon. She's in jail, though, on state charges. The right to life, protecting the unborn, a voice for babies in the womb. When we come back, Father Frank Pavone joins us to discuss the upcoming March for Life in Washington, D.C. Stay with us.
With everybody talking about making America healthy again, I thought today'd be a great day to talk to all my fellow patriots about the importance of making your homes healthy again. Well, we have proudly partnered with airwaterhealing.com and their revolutionary whole home air purification system. The V3 from Air Water Healing does 3,000 square feet of purification. It eliminates dust, mold, viruses, and odors. But here's the part I love. They require no filters to ever be changed and virtually no maintenance. Whether you suffer from asthma, allergies, seasonal bronchitis, or just want to protect your family from the flu or even greater threats, don't wait to get your V3 from airwaterhealing.com today. Use code LINDELL for 20% off in savings and free shipping. That's promo code LINDELL at airwaterhealing.com. Let's face it, you can't trust Big Pharma. They've already tried to block ivermectin, hydroxychloroquine, and raise prices on everything from antibiotics to your daily meds. Well, there's good news. All Family Pharmacy is standing up for medical freedom and helping people get the treatments they actually want. My family and I use them all the time. They made it easy and affordable without the runaround. While other pharmacies are jacking up prices, they've actually dropped theirs. Ivermectin now starts at just $2 a capsule. Use my promo code LINDELL10, you get an extra 10% off of that. You need ivermectin, antibiotics, or methylene blue, you name it, they've got it. They make it simple. You fill out a short online form, a licensed doctor reviews it, and your meds ship fast right to your front door. If you want to be prepared and have your medications on hand, this is your new pharmacy. Visit allfamilypharmacy.com/Lindell. Promo code LINDELL10 saves you even more. That's allfamilypharmacy.com/Lindell. Promo code LINDELL10. If you want to drop extra pounds, boost energy levels, and reduce swelling in your legs and feet, then this message is for you. Pure Health Research is on a mission to make America healthy again. And two of their best-selling health supplements are leading the way. First is Liver Health Formula. Over 100 million Americans have a sluggish liver that's riddled with fatty deposits. This can kill your metabolism, pile on the pounds, and make you feel tired. Liver Health Formula takes care of that. It supports thriving liver health with special nutrients like artichoke extract and milk thistle. This is one of the easiest ways to slim down and revitalize your energy levels. Next is lymph system support. If you struggle with fluid buildup or swelling in your legs, ankles, and feet, this is for you. The natural ingredients in lymph system support help gently flush away extra fluid and toxins out of your body. And right now, for a limited time, you get 35% off Liver Health Formula and Lymph System Support, along with 50 plus other health supplements that Pure Health Research has to offer. So head over to purehealthresearch.com and use promo code LINDELL at checkout. That's purehealthresearch.com, promo code LINDELL to save 35% on your order today.
We're back with a look ahead at President Trump's schedule for today. At 10:30 this morning, he meets at the White House with Secretary of State Marco Rubio. At 1:30 this afternoon, he has a meeting with Archbishop Coakley. At 3 o'clock, he participates in a signing. And at 4 this afternoon, President Trump has a meeting with the CEO of Tunnels to Towers. As always, our Kara Castronova will be staked out at the White House, bringing us updates throughout the day. Over on Wall Street, opening bell just moments ago, U.S. stocks. The futures show a weaker Monday morning, as you can see, starting in the red as traders react to political and economic developments, including news around the Federal Reserve's leadership and legal scrutiny involving Fed Chair Jerome Powell. Good news at the pump. Gas prices are way down. Looking at today's national average compared to a year ago, look at that. Right now, prices are sitting at $2.80 a gallon nationally compared to $2.94 a month ago and $3.06 1 year ago. That's according to AAA Gas. In less than 2 weeks, tens of thousands will gather in Washington, D.C. to be a voice for the unborn. It's the annual March for Life. Father Frank Pavone with Priests for Life is joining us this morning. Father Frank, always a pleasure to see you. Good morning. How are you?
I'm doing great, Vanessa. Thanks for having me on your show. And yeah, we're looking forward to some big events next week.
Yes, tell us all about it. You know, it's so good to see positive, and then these aren't protests. You know, we've been seeing a lot of protests, Father Frank, in the last couple of days, but this is a positive march, a voice for the unborn. Tell us all about it.
Well, and it's filled with prayer. It's actually, Vanessa, a cluster of events. So there are pro-life groups all over the country that'll be coming to D.C., organizing separate events. Now, I myself and my team at Priests for Life, we're organizing 6 events just in the 2 days of January 22nd and 23rd. And I want to invite our viewers to look at the entirety of the events. On the 23rd, the big march, as you're seeing now on the screen, occurs with a rally at 11 and the march itself at noon. However, let me widen the lens and show you some of the other events. The day before, for example, on the 22nd, I'll be leading a protest at Planned Parenthood in Washington. It'll be a national protest. So we'll be calling for the closing of the Planned Parenthood killing centers around the country and the defunding of abortion, which of course is going to be an important vote coming up in the Senate. Then we're going to have a memorial at noon on Thursday the 22nd in front of the Supreme Court to honor the victims, the over 65 million babies that have been killed, and also the moms and the dads and those that have been injured and sometimes killed in the process. The next day, the big march on Friday the 23rd, I want to invite our viewers to join me and other pastors from across the body of Christ and across the country in a national prayer service. As we can all affirm, you know, we can go out and march, but it's got to be rooted in faith and in prayer. And prayer is even more important. So we're going to gather at Constitution Hall in Washington, D.C. At 8:30 for an interdenominational prayer service. We're going to honor Charlie Kirk, and someone from TPUSA will be there to accept an award in his name. And then we will have also the theme of America 250, 2026 being our 250th birthday, the right to life asserted in that Declaration of Independence. So prayer service in the morning. And finally, Vanessa, in the afternoon of Friday, after that big march that we just saw reaches the Supreme Court, men and women who have lost children to abortion will be giving public witness, not only to the pain of abortion, but to the healing found in Jesus Christ, right there at the steps of the Supreme Court. Now, for the details on all these events, let me ask people to visit prolifemarch.org. Very simple. They'll see the whole schedule of what I just said, prolifemarch.org. It's going to be a powerful couple of days.
Yes, and you know, you mentioned some key statistics there, and it really hurts my heart. We know that there are abortions going on every single day across the world. You mentioned 65 million babies, Father Frank. How disheartening. That is so, it hurts my heart. It's so sad to know that 65 million babies did not get a chance to live life.
And that's in the United States alone, and that is since Roe versus Wade, 1973. There is nothing in America or in the world that takes more life than abortion. And what we in the pro-life movement are saying is, look, we know that this is not the only issue. It's not the only form of violence. But the problem I have, and the problem so many of us have, is when we talk about violence or when we talk about groups of people that need to be protected, the unborn are so often forgotten. It's like a big blind spot, with the people talking about gun violence and terrorism and drug overdose. And all of these things have to be addressed. But what about the one thing, the one act of violence that's claiming more life than anything else? The slaughter of babies in the womb. And it's dismemberment. I mean, we don't make this up. You read the textbooks on how abortions are done. And Vanessa, these doctors are talking in cold, heartless language about how they pull the arms and the legs off and take the skull out in pieces. I mean, this is not some kind of theoretical thing. This is a Holocaust going on right in our midst. And it's time to, one of the purposes of these events coming up is to put this on everyone's radar, but make it a priority. We all know abortion's happening, but we got to make it a priority to stop it.
Yes, we do. And one of the things that I smile about all the time, Father Frank, is whenever I'm online and I see that another Planned Parenthood facility, a center, has closed down, because I know when I read that headline, more lives are being saved.
You know, we have President Trump to thank for that. The 50 Planned Parenthoods have closed since he signed the One Big Beautiful Bill, and that's part of a big reason for that.
Absolutely. And so, again, we're going to continue to fight hard and continue to watch these places close down and shut down so we can start saving more lives. Back to the March for Life in D.C. and all of the events surrounding those couple of days. I know you have some great speakers that we're anticipating as well. Any names that we can look forward to?
Well, one of the people who's going to be at our prayer service is one of the actors from The Chosen. I'm sure many of our viewers watch that series, The Chosen, and delving into the Gospels and Jesus' life and all the events surrounding it. Liche Ariza, who's a strong pro-life advocate himself and has been connected with our ministry, he is going to come to that service and be part of those observances. The March for Life Education Fund, which is a separate group, they'll be announcing the speakers for the rally, which will be just ahead of the march itself. And again, I encourage people to go to prolifemarch.org, and you'll be able to see a whole lot more detail right there.
I was looking at the website last night, and it's just one of those things, Father Frank, where you just smile because you know that this is such a good march. It's a good couple of days in D.C. where people are just wanting to save these children who don't have a voice. So we are their voice. So when you're there on the ground, I know you fight all year long for this. That's one of your top priorities and what you do. But when you go and you see the tens of thousands of people who converge to Washington, D.C. To support your efforts that you do every single day, what's that feeling like for you?
You know, it's first of all, personally very significant because I got involved in the pro-life movement precisely as a result of being inspired by this very event with the March for Life. I went to the third March for Life. Now it's been 54 years, but I've been to the third March for Life in 1976 as a high school student. And you know what happened to me when I saw that big crowd and you know, dealing with a very, very sad and troublesome issue, and yet marching as families, as young people, smiling. It just, the whole thing impressed me so deeply. You can be sure that'll happen next week as well. Young people going there, you know, we sometimes think, well, what good does the march do? You know, does it change our country? Well, one of the things for sure is that it changes the very people who march. And so you bring someone there who might be, you know, somewhat interested in the issue. You can make them into a very strong advocate just by being present for that. And the other thing, you know, it's prophetic victory. I march down the streets and I see, you know, the joy and sorrow at the same time. You know, we as Christians have both joy and sorrow. Blessed are those who mourn, Jesus said, they will be comforted. So we're going there with broken hearts, but those broken hearts are opened up so wide that God's grace comes in and he gives us the message, you know what? You're just not working for victory. You're working from victory. We have a victory over death already in Jesus Christ, who died and rose again. And as St. Paul says to the Romans, death has no more power over him. That means death has no more power over us. Yes, we die. Yes, these children die, but death doesn't have the last word anymore. Christ does, life does. And that's the spirit of these marches. And that's what we feel when we do this. The final thought, you know, Dr. Alveda King is part of our ministry, and many of our viewers, of course, know her. And she and I marched together. She worked with me full time for 16 years in Priests for Life. And so we marched together in this very event. And the first time we did so, we were walking arm in arm. And I said to her, does this remind you of civil rights movement and the marches with your uncle? And Vanessa, you know what her response was? She turned to me and she said, Father Frank, this is the civil rights movement. And that's so true. The civil rights for the unborn.
That's so amazing. And those are words that you can carry with you every single day. For the people, Father Frank, who can't make it to Washington, D.C., like myself, you know, I'll be here in the studio working, but I'll be with you in spirit. How can we help out?
Yes, I want to give you my social media address. It's at FR Frank Pavone on all the major platforms at FR Frank Pavone. So we're going to be giving live updates. We'll also be giving links to where people can follow online these events from afar. We'll be giving prayer resources so that people can join their spiritual lives to this. We'll be giving resources for pastors and churches. If people can be a liaison with their churches, we'll provide a lot of materials so that a pastor could at least mention this over the next couple of weekends and invite the people to pray. Those are just some of the ways. But connect with us on social media and also at that website, Pro-Life March, and you'll be fully part of this, even though not there physically.
And I want to make a mention, we do have some time left real quick, to mention Priests for Life. Tell us about that initiative.
This is one of the largest ministries for pro-life in the world. I began leading it in 1993. And its original purpose, and it's still a core mission, is to help priests to preach, counsel, and activate their people, including politically, by the way. We're very involved in elections, very strong supporters of President Trump and pro-life candidates all over the country. But Priests for Life is interdenominational as well. So anyone interested in helping these babies be saved or helping heal those that have been involved in abortion can take part. One of the things our ministry does is we run the largest ministry in the whole world for healing people who've been wounded by abortion. And we have weekend retreats based in scripture and good psychological counseling to overcome those terrible wounds that abortion brings. So we are a multifaceted movement, the preaching, the teaching, the healing, and the politics, all wrapped up in one, Priests for Life. And that's the ministry I continue to lead now full-time all across the country.
Father Frank, always a pleasure to have you on the show. Thanks so much for stopping by. And we're going to be following your journey in the next couple of weeks as you make your way to Washington, D.C. God bless you. Have a great time and give everyone hugs from all of us there at March for Life.
I sure will. Thank you, Vanessa. God bless you.
Thank you. Melania, a look at the First Lady from behind the cameras and behind the scenes. A preview of Melania the movie when we come back.
I'm excited to announce that we're having our biggest Made in America sale ever. We just put huge discounts on products made right here in the USA. My Pillow bed pillows, body pillows, go anywhere pillows, bolster pillows, all made with my patented adjustable fill. Mattresses, mattress toppers, mattress pads, adjustable bed frames, mattress foundations, and so much more. All made right here in the USA. And now we're expanding our USA products beyond just quality sleep. Like the cross I wear every day, now available in both men's and women's. We even have USA-made socks. And are you tired of being tired? Try our new health beverage, Rev 7. Or how about my coffee, the greatest coffee ever. So go to mypillow.com or call the number on your screen. Use this promo code to get deep discounts on all these products. Plus, for a limited time, your order ships absolutely free. Are you taking advantage of President Trump's golden age? Or what if I told you can just sit back and earn money as President Trump continues to repair our economy and make America energy independent again? I'm talking about oil royalty checks. With the help of the Oxford Club, thousands of Americans have unlocked this secret hack that has put money back in hardworking American pockets. Financial expert and LINDELL TV supporter Mark Litchenfield has showed me how. It's a way to profit from America's energy production that's been working quietly for decades, even when oil companies were struggling. So go to LindellOilBoom.com to find out how this all works and why it's relevant right now. That's LindellOilBoom.com. Whether it's being a weekend warrior or spending time with your family, feeling your best is the key to doing the things you love. That's why I'm excited to tell you about Nirvanta. It's a natural solution designed to help you stay active and live well naturally. Nirvanta is a topical blend of all natural essential oils like frankincense, myrrh, and a proprietary gold standard plant stock extract. It's perfect for your hands, feet, knees, back, or anywhere else that needs a little extra care. Use Nirvanta proactively as part of your daily maintenance routine, and you're guaranteed you're going to feel the difference. Simply massage Nirvanta in for at least 60 seconds, 2 to 3 times a day to get the best results. And if you're not completely satisfied, you get your money back. No questions asked. There's simply no risk and no reason not to try Nirvanta today. Right now, you get 15% off with code LINDELL exclusively at nirvantahealth.com. So stop reaching out for that medicine cabinet. Get Nirvanta instead and experience the difference. Go to nirvantahealth.com. Use code LINDELL to get 15% off today. Nirvanta Health. Live well naturally.
Melania, she's classy, she's elegant, she's a fashionista. But what is she like behind the scenes? We'll soon find out.
Here we go again.
You can come in. Come on in. My proudest legacy will be that of peacemaker.
Peacemaker in the fire. Beautiful. Together with like-minded leaders, we have a voice. Is it safe?
It is safe.
Everyone wants to know. So here it is. Hi, Mr. President. Congratulations.
Did you watch it?
I did not. Yeah, I will see it on the news.
How exciting is that? Melania the movie coming to theaters worldwide on January 30th. Can't wait to see that. All right, if you're heading out the door, here's some news you can use your news to go for this Monday. The U.S. has hit ISIS in airstrikes across Syria. They were executed with precision in various aircraft. The strikes are part of the ongoing Operation Hawkeye Strike. It's a campaign launched last month. They are in response to a December 13th ambush that killed 2 U.S. soldiers and an American civilian. The strikes aim to degrade ISIS's ability to conduct future attacks. Also in the news, President Trump saying he had successful talks with oil and gas executives Friday at the White House.
We just had a great meeting with the oil executives. We've sort of formed a deal. They're going to be going in with hundreds of billions of dollars and drilling oil, and it's good for Venezuela and it's great for the United States. A lot of money is going to be made. Oil prices will come down, although they are getting down pretty good now without it. And it was a great meeting we had today with the biggest companies anywhere in the world.
That meeting included executives from Chevron, ExxonMobil, ConocoPhillips, Shell, Valero, and many others. Secretary of War Pete Hegseth is traveling to Texas today, just taking off minutes ago. As you can see there, he will visit SpaceX and Lockheed Martin. Elon Musk will be at SpaceX during Hegseth's visit. Also today, look for this in Congress, the topic of insider trading.
The American people deserve to know their member of Congress is not profiting off of insider information. If you want to day trade, go to Wall Street. But in Washington, we should ban members of Congress from trading stocks. Today, I'm introducing the Stop Insider Trading Act to do just that. We're going to clean up Washington one step at a time. Stay tuned for more.
That's Congressman Brian Steele of Wisconsin. He just posted that this morning. The bill would ban members of Congress, their spouses, and dependents from buying individual stocks. And those are your top stories we're following on this Monday. You can follow the news with us here and also online, LINDELLTV.com. We leave you today in prayer, as we always do, going to our Bible verse of the day. It comes from the book of Luke. It says this: Jesus said, "I must preach the kingdom of God to the other cities, for I was sent for this purpose," he says. And that'll do it for us here this morning. Thank you for switching times with me, coming from afternoons to mornings. It's been a fun morning. It's nice to spend my days with all of you. Thanks again. We'll see you same time, same place tomorrow. Have a good day, America.
Welcome to Vocal, the free speech social app that gives you a platform to amplify your voice. Speak freely, connect boldly, and be part of a growing movement for truth, faith, and freedom. Want to know what's happening right now? The Now Playing feature shows you exactly who's live and what's streaming in real time. Check out the show's feed, a non-stop lineup including Lindell TV News 24/7, shows and on-demand programming all in one place. Connect with your favorite host and never miss a show. Explore the featured page for quick access to Lindell TV's top shows. Follow your favorites and watch their newest content flow right into your feed. And when they go live on Vocal, you can join the live chat and be part of the action. Ask questions, share your thoughts, even help shape future shows. Stay informed on issues around securing our elections by following your state's Cause of America account. Join a group and connect on a deeper level, from faith and freedom to the future of our nation. Go to vocal.com or download the app today and be a part of the mission to save our country.
Huge breaking news. Mike Lindell Media Corporation, which includes Lindell TV, has gone public with the stock trading symbol MLMC.
Kara Cashinova from Lindell TV.
This is Allison Steinberg here with Lindell TV.
We are currently on LINDELLTV.com.
The platform, which has rapidly grown to attract 7.2 million monthly viewers and 150 million annual impressions. Vocal, its subsidiary social media network, supports over 70,000 accounts, and MLMC is poised for even greater success.
This is going to be big, everybody, and I'm really looking forward to it. We all know what MyPillow has done for quality sleep, and we know what quality sleep does for our health. Well, now we're taking things a step further, introducing our brand new health and wellness line, formulated by a doctor with over 20 years of experience who only uses the highest industry standards. I've known and worked with him for over 13 years, and they're made right here in my home state of Minnesota. We have everything from ashwagandha and apple cider gummies, a liquid joint formula, body and beauty detox kits, liquid complex for heart and brain support, a cold buster all-in-one immune formula, Vibe, the best superfood ever, fish oil omega-3 pills, pro and prebiotics gut health formulas, and so much more. So go to mypillow.com or call the number on your screen. Use the promo code to get deep discounts on all these products. Plus, for a limited time, your order ships absolutely free. With everybody talking about making America healthy again, I thought today'd be a great day to talk to all my fellow patriots about the importance of making your homes healthy again. Well, we have proudly partnered with airwaterhealing.com and their revolutionary whole home air purification system. The V3 from Air Water Healing does 3,000 square feet of purification. It eliminates dust, mold, viruses, and odors. But here's the part I love. They require no filters to ever be changed and virtually no maintenance. Whether you suffer from asthma, allergies, seasonal bronchitis, or just want to protect your family from the flu or even greater threats, don't wait to get your V3 from airwaterhealing.com today. Use code Lindell for 20% off in savings and free shipping. That's promo code Lindell at airwaterhealing.com.
America's founders warned that without knowledge and virtue, no nation can remain free. Yet through the steady infiltration of Marxist ideology, we have been stripped of both, and we are no longer a moral and educated people. To save America, we must spark nothing less than a national renaissance. That's why you need Freedom Talk Magazine, the journal of truth and virtue. We cultivate enlightened thinking and principled living, offering unique insights into the issues and remarkable people defining our world. Sign up today for your free subscription to Freedom Talk Magazine and join the new American Renaissance.